Good morning, everyone. I'm Rebecca, and this is Simply Self-Sufficiency. I just wanted to give y'all a little update on what's been going on and maybe do a little garden tour this morning. The day after the power came on, Sunday morning, my husband had a heart attack, and we called the ambulance and took him to the hospital. He went to one hospital and then was taken to Augusta to another hospital. He had several arteries blocked, and on Wednesday they did a quadruple bypass. And he is now home and doing good and healing, but the whole week has been spent doing nothing but going back and forth to the hospital. I myself don't drive in the city, so my daughter had to take off time and her husband had to take off time so that they could take me back and forth and, see how he was doing. But it looks like we're going to get through this, and it's been long and it's been hard. Coming right after the stress of having the hurricane and all the power loss to deal with, and then having this to deal with, it's been a lot. The garden has suffered a little bit because I have had absolutely no time to put into it. But I do have my fall stuff mostly planted. Probably a bunch more going to go out as I get them, but I haven't been able to start anything more in the greenhouse because the greenhouse still has a tree on it. He obviously has not been able to, do anything with that. That'll just have to wait until we can get it done. All right, let's go out to the garden and I'll show you what's going on. All right, this first bed right here, this is all turnips. There are a couple of different kinds in here, but they're just turnips, except for these two plants right here. And these are the sea kale. They were all up underneath the lime basil that was out here, but they have managed to survive, and we'll see how they do next year. Should live through the winter just fine. The turnips are doing pretty well though, except on the edges of the beds, and the edges of the beds are empty because the cats keep coming and digging in there. So this over here are some potted peas, and here are some radishes. I had put kale in here, but it really hadn't come up, so I just went ahead and put radishes in. As you can see over there, those are all the pineapple plants, and they are doing great. Over in this was a couple of the peppers, and I harvested a bunch and dehydrated them like you saw, and I've given to my daughter twice now bags of peppers, and we still have more peppers even still coming. There's one there, there's some over here, so I don't know how long they'll keep going and beat the frost, but right now they're still going. Here, these are just the raspberries and strawberries. They really didn't do that great this year. I'm thinking about moving the raspberries next year. All right, over here we have more peppers. There are still some peppers on here too. This is the parsley. It came back after the swallowtail caterpillars ate it completely to the ground. Over here are the broad beans. And I have never planted fava beans before. I really don't know whether these are going to make it or not. They look terrible when the sun is on them, getting them too hot. And I don't know how they're going to do, but we'll just see. Over on this side, there was 2 rows of spinach planted. Not a thing came up. This is the blue spice basil. And this is the most wonderful smelling basil I have ever smelled. I am just so impressed with it. I'm going to let it get bigger if I can and harvest all of it and try it in tea. Over here, this is still the regular basil, and I got some seeds from it the other day. When you take seeds from regular basil, it's really simple. You wait till they turn brown like this. You just pull up on these stalks, and all the seeds are in these little pods. I'm about to pull all those out because in here is where we planted the garlic. And as you can see, all the garlic is coming up. I don't worry about it coming up because garlic here will just live right through the winter. Over on this side, there's still the herbs, that's doing good. Over on this side are the shallots. These are the Louisiana evergreen shallots, and they're doing great. As you can see, they're splitting and making several more. I might split them up again before winter, and I might not. I'm not sure. All right, let's go over to the first bed. All right, over here, get this netting off. Over here are the carrots, and they really are doing well. They're getting to be good sized. The green part anyway. I don't think we're getting any roots yet, but they're looking good. And over here in the middle are the cauliflower, and these plants are really looking nice. I am impressed with them. Now over beside them I have planted some celery, and some of them are doing good and some of them are not so good, but I think I'm gonna get some celery anyway. Now over here are the kale. These kale were completely knocked down when the hurricane came, and I harvested off of them. I harvested off of them, and as you can see, they have righted themselves mostly. That one's still kind of down, but it's still growing over there. And we're gonna get at least a harvest or two off of them after this. So they're doing great. Okay, let's walk over to the middle bed. The middle bed has not done anywhere near as good as the other beds. This bed has some, I don't know if you can see that. Let me get this off. Has some broccoli. It's doing okay now. It's not great. It has some beets that are kind of all right. They're getting eaten a little bit by something. Oops, that's a weed. All right, but as you can see, the cabbage, I can't see. The cabbage is just not doing as good. I don't know why. I've had it covered with the netting the whole time. What is doing good in here, though, are the radishes. The radishes are growing kind of like crazy in here. So maybe we'll get some radishes out of this bed anyway. This last bed are plants I started in the greenhouse. And I put them all in one of my little starter trays and nothing came up. And then I replanted in the same tray with some onions. That also did not come up. And then it cooled off a little bit in the greenhouse and all this stuff came up. So it just got planted in here. There are some good looking red cabbages. I don't know if we can get them through until they make heads, but we're going to try. This over here are some beets that I just grew from seed in here. And there's a row down each side. They're getting kind of ate up by something, but they're still growing. So that's what's in this last bed. All right, let's go over by the greenhouse. The greenhouse, as you see, still has this tree on it. I have stuff that needs to go in the greenhouse. This lemon tree needs to get in there. The lime needs to go in. That is the rhubarb that really suffered through the summer here, but it's still alive. They need to grow. These need to go in the greenhouse, but this is on top of the greenhouse. So it's very dark in the greenhouse. I do have a light in there, but not enough to really keep all this stuff alive. So we'll have to put them in there and hope that we can find somebody to get this off the greenhouse. Is our little tomato experiment. Did really good until the hurricane came. And as you see now, we have 2 little tomato plants left. After the hurricane, it just kind of beat it to death and it didn't do very well. The fig tree, though, here is doing all right. There's my alpine strawberries and marjoram. So, and here's the currant. So everything else is doing all right. Made it through just fine. So that is how the garden's doing right now. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please like, share, and subscribe.